There's a dish in your house, just a bit of salt, a few cloves of garlic, but it might be holding more power than your last promotion. Not because it's magical, and certainly not because money falls from the ceiling, but because, sometimes, what blocks abundance isn't out there in the world, it's the quiet heaviness we've let settle into our space. Have you ever noticed how your home feels different after a hard week? Or how you sleep better when the air feels lighter? That's not a coincidence. Energy clings. It gathers in corners, sits in the air, and eventually sinks into your routines until everything feels slightly off. You work hard, but money still slips away. You apply, but don't get called back. You stay hopeful, but doors stay shut. It's not that you're doing anything wrong. It's just that your space might be whispering a different message than you think. Across generations, both salt and garlic have been used in kitchens. Yes, but also in quiet rituals passed down through families, not for luck, but for clarity. Salt pulls out stagnant energy like emotional dust. Garlic deflects what doesn't belong to you like a quiet shield you didn't know you needed. Together, they don't fix your finances, but they clear a path, and when that path is open, things move, calls come in, projects shift, that subtle tightness around your chest begins to lift. This video is not about superstition, it's about space, and the way your environment, without a word, can either hold you down or let you rise. So if your bank account has stayed still, if your mind feels cluttered, or if your luck seems one step behind, you don't need to chase more. You may just need to clear the air. Let's begin with something simple, something quiet, and something powerful enough to shift the way energy moves through your life. Starting with what's already in your kitchen. Part 1. When your house stops breathing. You can scrub your counters, open the windows, light every candle you own, and still feel like something isn't moving. The house is clean, but the air is thick. The walls don't echo anymore. The space feels like it's watching you, quietly holding its breath. Most people don't notice it until they've lived with it too long. That invisible stillness. The kind that sinks into the floorboards, wraps itself around your good intentions, and makes everything feel heavier. Sometimes it shows up as tired mornings that no amount of coffee can fix. Other times, it shows up in your wallet when the money comes in, only to vanish in a string of small emergencies. And sometimes, it shows up in silence, like the job offer that never arrives, the email that doesn't get answered, or the opportunity that almost happened, but somehow slipped away. Again, it's easy to blame yourself when things stall. You think maybe you didn't try hard enough, or maybe it's just not your time. But what if it's not about how much you're doing, but about the energy you're doing it in? Energy doesn't just live inside you, it lingers in your home. Your space carries the residue of conversations, disappointments, decisions that didn't turn out the way you hoped. Energy builds, and when it's not cleared, it settles like dust. Except this kind of dust doesn't just make you sneeze. It makes you doubt yourself. It makes you hesitate before asking for more. It makes abundance pass right by, because it can't recognize you under all that weight. You might not see it, but you can feel it. That small pull when you walk past a certain corner. That part of your room you avoid rearranging because something about it feels stuck. That quiet urge to declutter, but never the motivation to finish. It's not laziness. It's your intuition. It's the part of you that senses energy long before your mind makes sense of it. Because deep down, we know when a space has stopped breathing. And when it has, we stop expanding in it too. There's a common belief that if you just work harder, push more, say the affirmations, visualize, and stay positive, things will change. But if your environment is still whispering the language of stagnation, your effort can only go so far. It's like trying to sprint through water. You move, but every step drags. You move, but you never seem to arrive. So what does it really look like when your space is silently holding you back? It looks like effort without progress. It looks like getting paid, and then immediately watching the money disappear. It looks like back-to-back rejections from places that once felt like a sure yes. It looks like living inside a house that keeps you stuck not with bad luck, but with stale energy. And it feels like this, like waking up with a list of things to do and a heart that doesn't want to start. Your home has memory. Every space does. It remembers how you felt during last winter. It holds the sound of that one argument you never fully made peace with. It carries the echo of waiting for a call, a letter, an apology, a change. If those energies aren't released, they keep cycling. You keep reliving them in tiny ways. You sit in the same chair, think the same thought, walk the same path, and wonder why nothing shifts. But you're not broken. You're not unlucky. You're just surrounded by echoes that haven't been cleared. That's why energy cleansing isn't decoration. It's not about burning herbs or buying crystals you don't understand. It's about restoring breath to a space that forgot how to inhale. It's about creating just enough room energetically for something new to notice you. When your house starts breathing again, you do too. And in that breath, doors open. Projects resume. The right email arrives. Not because you forced it, but because now, the energy is aligned enough to let it in. This isn't a miracle. It's a reset. A quiet, grounded return to clarity. You don't need to start over. You just need to clear what's already in the way. And the truth is, the most powerful tools you need might already be sitting in your kitchen. Because the moment you lift the stillness, even just a little something begins to move. It might be small at first. A softer night's sleep. A calmer morning. A forgotten corner that feels a little lighter. But movement invites momentum. And momentum, that's when life changes. Not all at once. But just enough that you'll feel it. Just enough that you'll know the energy has turned. And when it does, so does everything else. Part 2. Salt and garlic aren't just for cooking. Salt and garlic sit quietly in your kitchen. Ordinary. Familiar, you use them without thinking: pinch, chop, stir, taste. But these two aren't just ingredients. They're the oldest energy tools your home already holds. Long before we had words for bad vibes or energy blocks, people instinctively turned to salt and garlic, not to cook but to clear. Not to add flavor, but to bring balance back into their homes. You might not realize it, but every day, your space absorbs emotion. It holds tension. It soaks in stress. The walls don't forget the arguments, the rushed mornings, the silent disappointments. Over time, that energy builds, and it doesn't leave on its own. It starts to weigh down your mood, your motivation, even your money. That's why no matter how often you sweep the floors, or how many goals you set, it still feels like something's off. Like something small but stubborn is getting in the way. That's where salt comes in. Not the trendy kind, not the overpriced kind, just simple, pure salt. It doesn't need to sparkle. It only needs to absorb. Salt is grounding. In homes around the world, people have quietly placed bowls of salt in dark corners, near front doors, beneath beds, not for looks, but to act like a sponge for energy. Because salt doesn't just season. It listens. It pulls. It holds on to what doesn't belong, until you're ready to let it go. It clears the heaviness you forgot was even there. And then, there's garlic. A protector by nature. Sharp, unapologetic, impossible to ignore. Garlic doesn't hide. It shields. In many cultures, both East and West, it's been placed above doors, tucked into pockets, even hung above cribs. Not because it's pretty, but because it works. Garlic helps create an energetic barrier. It keeps unwanted energy from clinging to you when you walk through a crowd, visit a chaotic store, or come home carrying other people's emotions. You've felt it before, that sudden shift in your mood after being around someone heavy, that tightness in your chest after an unexpected encounter. Garlic doesn't prevent life from happening, but it can help keep your own energy intact, clear, and undisturbed. Together, salt and garlic don't just reset your space. They reconnect you to yourself. That may sound subtle, but that's exactly the point. Not every healing act needs to be loud. Not every shift requires a ceremony. Sometimes, the most powerful changes begin with small, quiet choices, like placing a bowl of salt near your front door and feeling the air get a little lighter. Like crushing 3 cloves of garlic, not for dinner, but to remind yourself that your energy deserves protection, too. And here's what makes this so different from every other ritual or remedy you've tried: salt and garlic don't promise transformation. They create space for it. You don't have to believe in magic. You just have to believe in movement. And movement happens when stagnant energy finally lifts. when the air stops pressing in, when the corners of your room stop holding old versions of you hostage. Think about how you feel after a good, honest cry. How your body softens, how your breath deepens. That's what energy cleansing feels like, but for your home. When you start to release the emotional buildup, your space begins to exhale. And when it does, you'll notice that you start breathing differently too. This isn't a superstition, it's restoration. A moment of clarity carved out from the noise. Salt doesn't need permission to work. Garlic doesn't ask for belief. Their power comes from presence. And presence is all you need to start again, cleaner, clearer, softer. So if you've been feeling stuck, heavy, ignored by the universe, don't blame your luck. Don't shame your effort. Instead, take a breath and look around. Feel the air. Notice the corners. Listen to what your space is holding onto. And when you're ready, go to your kitchen. Find your salt. Take the garlic. Hold them not as food but as tools. Quiet ones. Honest ones. Ones that have been waiting for you to remember their deeper use. Because in a world that keeps telling you to do more, fix more, and prove more, maybe the shift you've been waiting for doesn't start with a big leap. Maybe it starts with the smallest of steps. A bowl. A clove. A moment of stillness. A space that starts to breathe again. And from that breath, the flow returns. Not like a storm. Not like a miracle. But like something that had always been yours, finally finding its way home. Part 3: 4 Simple Ways to Reset Your Energy with Salt and Garlic. 1. Wash your face so wealth can finally see you. You look in the mirror every morning. You wash your face out of habit. But what if that daily motion could do more than just clean your skin? What if it could shift the energy that's been quietly hiding behind your eyes, the kind that blocks visibility, opportunity, and connection? Because here's the truth no one tells you. Wealth doesn't just follow hard work. It follows clarity. And sometimes, clarity starts on your face. Your face is the first place the world sees you. But more than that, it's where energy lands first. When you walk into a room, when you speak, when you ask for something, it's your face that carries the message. But over time, that message gets muffled. Energy builds up layers of disappointment, pressure, self-doubt. You may not notice it, but your body does. You feel it in the tension around your jaw, the tiredness under your eyes, the dullness that no cream seems to fix. This isn't about skincare. It's about the energy you're wearing. And salt and garlic, two things already sitting in your kitchen, can help remove what no product can touch. Take a bowl of warm water. Add a pinch of sea salt. Mince just enough garlic to release its essence, not too much to overwhelm. Stir slowly. As the water warms, let your intention rise with it, not to look younger, not to impress, but to be seen clearly, wholly, without the fog of past setbacks. When you wash your face with this water, use your hands. No cloth, no soap. Move your palms downward from forehead to chin. Let the water carry away not just physical residue, but emotional weight. This downward motion symbolizes release. It's not about lifting up, it's about letting go. Don't rush. Don't distract yourself with thoughts of the day ahead. Just be here. Let the salt pull away the unseen heaviness. Let the garlic stand guard at the edges of your energy, forming a soft shield against doubt, fear, and fatigue. When you finish, don't pat dry. Let the air do the work. As the droplets evaporate, notice what's shifted not just in the mirror, but inside. There's a lightness that doesn't come from exfoliation. It comes from being clear again. And when your energy is clear, it becomes visible. Opportunities feel it. People sense it. Money recognizes it. Because now, you're not just doing things right, you're being seen in your full, open energy. And in a world that often rewards surface, this is how you invite something deeper. You don't need more effort. You don't need new routines. Sometimes, all you need is a few quiet minutes at your sink, a bowl of warm water, a pinch of salt, a bit of garlic, and the willingness to show your truest self to the world again. Because when you do, wealth doesn't have to find you. It already sees you. 2. Soak your feet, let your worries drain out too. Your face reflects what you carry, but your feet absorb where you've been. Every step you take, every errand, every hallway, every moment of standing still while waiting for life to move, your feet hold it all. And over time, they don't just ache. They begin to store every delay, every silent frustration, every conversation you walked away from feeling unseen. If you've ever ended a day and felt like the weight wasn't just in your body but in your being, that's where it's sitting. In your feet. That's why soaking your feet isn't just self-care. It's energy release. It's quiet repair. It's the moment your body says, "Thank you for noticing me." And when you use salt and garlic, it becomes more than just comfort, it becomes clearing. Salt doesn't just soothe muscles. It draws out what doesn't belong. Garlic, strong and steady, forms an invisible boundary, keeping what's yours close and letting everything else dissolve. Start with a basin of warm, not hot water. A temperature that feels safe, like coming home. Add 2 tablespoons of salt. Lightly crush 2 to 3 cloves of fresh garlic, just enough to awaken their presence. Let the scent rise softly. Let the warmth speak to your nervous system before your mind catches up. Then, place your feet in. Close your eyes. No scrolling, no talking, no list making. This is not time you're wasting, it's time you're reclaiming. As the water wraps around your feet, imagine everything heavy beginning to melt. Stress, doubt, that one worry you keep replaying before bed. Let it rise to the surface, let it leave you. With every breath, send something out. With every breath in, imagine clarity returning. Not with fireworks, not with noise, but with stillness. And as the minutes pass, notice how your body softens, not because the day changed, but because you chose to change how it ends. Your shoulders ease, your breath deepens, the noise inside your head lowers. This is what cleansing looks like without effort. This is what grounding feels like when you finally stop running, even for a moment. When you're done, don't rinse. Don't rush. Gently lift your feet and pat them dry like you're handling something sacred. Because you are. You've just reminded your body that it's not a machine, it's a messenger. And now that the message has been heard, your energy is lighter. Your steps will feel steadier. The world may not look different yet, but you are. And that changes everything. 3. Steam your home, let new air in and old luck out. Some homes feel still in a comforting way. Others feel still in a way that presses against your skin. It's not about decor, not about square footage or paint color. It's about air, what it holds, and what it refuses to let go. The longer old energy lingers, the harder it is for anything new to find its way in. And if you've ever felt like life is circling just outside your door, but never quite entering, your home may not be broken, it may just be full. This is where steam becomes more than moisture. It becomes movement. Because when salt and garlic meet heat, something quiet but powerful happens. The air shifts, not with incense or chemicals or noise, but with warmth, intention, and the soft rise of something that says, "We're ready now." To begin, boil a large pot of water. Add a handful of salt, not for flavor, but for absorption. Then, drop in 5 to 7 cloves of garlic, gently crushed. As the water heats, so does the energy. The scent won't be sweet, but it will be honest. It will cut through stagnation like a breeze through a sealed window. When it boils, carefully place the pot in the center of your living room or wherever the energy feels thickest. Let the steam rise. Let it wrap around furniture, into corners, beneath forgotten spaces. This is not about sterilizing, it's about softening what's been held too long. As the steam rises, imagine the room breathing again. Picture the arguments that settled into the carpet lifting. Picture missed opportunities, unspoken regrets, and long-stalled dreams quietly releasing. You don't have to name them. Just let the air make space. After the steam settles and the water cools, use it to wipe down surfaces. Tables, doorknobs, even under the bed. The act isn't about cleaning, it's about clearing. You are sweeping not just dust, but delay. Not just grime, but grief. Let each stroke be a message: you're safe to move now. You're safe to return. You may not feel it instantly, but pay attention. Over the next days, you might notice a lighter breath, a spontaneous laugh, an email you'd been waiting for. These are not accidents. They are openings. And as you walk through your home, remember, you don't need perfect design to welcome abundance. You need clear space, honest energy, and the willingness to let old luck leave so the new can finally come in. 4. Place the bowl, invite money into the right corner. Some things work quietly. A locked door still holds protection. A bowl of fruit still says welcome, and a small dish in the corner of your room can quietly tell the universe I'm ready for more, not by shouting, not by chasing, but by creating a space where money doesn't feel lost, just finally seen. In the world of energy, certain spaces carry more weight. The southeast corner of your home, or your main living area, is traditionally known as the wealth corner. Not because of ancient superstition, but because energy, like water, tends to gather where it's invited. And if you've never placed anything there with intention, it's possible abundance has passed by, unsure whether to stay. This ritual is simple, but powerful. Start with a clean, small dish. Pour in a layer of salt, not too much, just enough to cover the base and act as a purifier. Then gently place 3 whole garlic cloves on top. Not sliced, not crushed, whole. The number 3 carries a quiet frequency of growth and movement. And garlic, as you now know, doesn't just protect, it stabilizes. This combination works like a beacon, cleansing what enters, protecting what stays. Place the bowl in the southeast corner of your living room, your workspace, or wherever feels most energetically active. It shouldn't be hidden, but it doesn't need to be on display. This isn't for others, it's for the space itself. A signal, a steady hum that says this home holds order, intention, and space for increase. Leave the bowl there for 7 to 10 days, then discard the contents. Don't reuse the salt. Don't save the garlic. These materials have done their work. They've absorbed what they were meant to. Let them go. Replace with fresh ones. Think of it like changing the batteries in something important. You wouldn't wait until it died before refreshing it. The magic isn't in the bowl. It's in the act, the pause, the care. It's in reminding yourself that you don't need more to attract more, you need to notice more. To tend to the corners. To breathe life into forgotten spaces. And to let even the quietest areas of your home speak the same language as your desires. Because when your environment aligns with your energy, and your energy aligns with your intention, money no longer has to push its way in. It walks in, recognizes the space, and stays. Final. You've just spent time not adding more to your life, but clearing the way for what's always belonged to you. Not through effort, not through force, but through something far more powerful: attention. Salt and garlic weren't the magic. You were. Each ritual a face washed with presence, feet soaked in silence, air steamed with memory, a corner activated with intention. These weren't just tasks. They were invitations. A way of telling your space, your body, your energy, I remember you. I see you now. And when you do that, when you pause long enough to breathe, to clear, to feel, you begin to move differently. Not louder, not faster, but clearer. And clarity changes everything. You begin to notice how much tension you were carrying without even realizing. You begin to notice how many little things in your home held the weight of stories that no longer serve you. And most importantly, you begin to respond to life, not from fear, or scarcity, or restlessness, but from grounded awareness. Science tells us that our nervous system responds to safety. That clarity, peace, and intentional movement activate the part of us that makes better decisions, connects more deeply, and recovers faster. These aren't just spiritual ideas, they're physical truths. When your space reflects stillness, your body finds it easier to rest. When your mind feels supported by your environment, your thoughts clear. And when you feel aligned in even the simplest corners of your life, like your sink, your tub, your floor, money, opportunities, and people feel more invited than chased. So if something shifted while you were listening, if something felt softer, quieter, or more real, that's not accidental. That's energy, finally having room to move. Thank you for staying with me, for trusting a quiet practice, for believing even for just a moment that maybe the answer isn't always to do more, but to feel more, clear more, and be more open to what wants to return. Whatever you're carrying, may it feel lighter tonight. Whatever you're waiting for, may it come easier, with grace. And may your home feel, once again, like a place where money doesn't just visit but stays. See you in the next ritual. Until then, take care of your space and let it take care of you.